I am going to be talking a lot about eating stuff and weight and just all of that disordered thinking type stuff in this video. If that is not something that you want to hear about, definitely, honestly, just like don't watch. I don't want this to be a negative space for anyone. So yeah. Is this even? Hold on. I think that's good enough. I was like, what's stuck on my knee? And it's fully an acrylic nail. So that's beautiful and wonderful. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is about time we have a chat about the beloved 75 hard. If you didn't know, I started the 75 hard mid-January, I want to say, and then I finished it on March 31st. And honestly, when I was doing it, I absolutely loved it. And when I finished it, I definitely wanted to make a video and talk about it, obviously, because I talk a lot about wellness and like fitness stuff on this channel and like on all my social media. So that was definitely something I wanted to do, was make a video and give you guys like a whole rundown on like my process and what I liked and what I didn't like and what was easy, what was hard. And for some reason, actually the reason was just that I was busy or lazy. Kind of both. I never made the video. So now it's been like months since I finished this challenge. When I first finished, I did post an Instagram and I didn't go into details in the caption, but I just wrote some like thoughts about like how much I loved the challenge and how I just like absolutely could not recommend it more if it's something that you're interested in. It's safe to say, now that it's been a while since I finished, my thoughts have kind of changed a little bit. And when I kind of started to realize that, I was like, okay, maybe like I'm just never gonna make that video because I'm not sure I recommend it or have a lot of positive things to say now. And then I was like, why don't I just make a video and just sit down and just like talk about it and like whatever. Like I was all stressed out about hitting all the points I wanted to hit and everything like that, and I realized that I could honestly just sit down and speak and honestly just have an honest conversation with you guys about how I'm feeling a couple months out from doing this challenge. I made one vlog while I was doing the challenge, so if you're curious about kind of my routine while I was doing it, I'll link that down below. But if you were curious about what my rules were, they were no alcohol, 2 45-minute workouts a day, and one has to be outside, and this was at least 5 days a week. No fast food or fried food, a gallon of water a day, and no eating past 9 p.m. Those were my rules. Honestly, out of all of these rules, I would say one of the hardest was actually the gallon of water a day, which I was not expecting because I drink a lot of water, but it wasn't difficult in the way you're thinking. It was more just difficult because I felt like I really couldn't track that. I knew it was 4 of my 32-ounce hydro flasks, but I would drink half a bottle and then have to fill it up before going to class, and I really just had a hard time measuring if I drank that much or not. So honestly, like really quickly into the challenge, I kind of stopped tracking that as much. But if anything, I guess it just made me more conscious of staying hydrated, so it wasn't a total bust. Obviously, the 2 45-minute workouts a day was challenging, but I definitely found ways to really work it into my everyday routine. I would include walks to class, stuff like that. I would just go on walks around my neighborhood. I work at our campus gym, so it was really easy for me to just get a workout in after I was working a shift. So that was definitely an adjustment. Obviously, I was working out so much more than I was before, but I wouldn't say it was that challenging, honestly. If anything, I had a lot of fun with that. The no fast food or fried food was also not difficult. I don't really eat out a lot anyways, and the fried food is something that I usually don't eat fried food. I just wanted to make it really strict for myself. That's not even like a, oh, it's unhealthy thing. that's a it doesn't sit well with me thing. So I just decided to add that into the challenge. The no eating past 9 p.m. was hard, but honestly, one of my favorite things about this challenge. I made that rule for myself because I'm a big late night snacker and then I have horrible reflux when I go to bed. So I really wanted to implement that into my routine. And as hard as it was something that I really got used to. And I was sleeping better and I did not feel gross when I was going to bed or waking up, which was so amazing. The no alcohol was not difficult for me at all. I was not 21 and I hate drinking. So that really wasn't hard. Anyways, with all that being said, I finished the challenge and I was in really good shape. Like probably the best shape I've possibly been in my life. I'm not really sure if that's true, but it was definitely the best shape I had been in a while. Unfortunately, when I neared the end of the challenge, I got super sick. And something about me is that when I get sick, I'm sick. Like I'm down for the count for months. It's really not possible for me to get a cold and be fine a week later. Usually it takes me months to get rid of it fully. So I was kind of down for the count for a while. And this sucked because ending the challenge, I really wanted to continue working out a lot because it was a habit I had built and I didn't want to fall out of it. I wasn't going to be as hard on myself or strict with it, but I definitely wanted to continue exercising multiple times a week. I guess all the other ones I was still able to adhere to, but the working out obviously is so difficult if you're sick. So I honestly just couldn't work out for, I don't even know, maybe a month. And that sucked because in my head, I was thinking that I had just reversed all of the progress I had made, which is obviously a horrible mindset to be in. Sorry, I feel like this video is all over the place because I didn't write down what I wanted to say, which is usually what I do. So sorry, I hope you're able to follow what I'm saying. I have a history with eating disorders. I'm not sure if I've talked about this on my channel. I've definitely obviously talked about my struggles with weight. My freshman year of college, I gained, I think 20 pounds. It could have been more than that, but I think it was just around 20 pounds. That was so detrimental to my mental health. When it was happening, I honestly didn't notice it as much as I did at the end of the year. My whole life, I've struggled with binge eating disorder. That really wasn't anything that was super new. But after I gained all this weight, I definitely struggled with other eating disorders as well, which I'm not really gonna get into, but just to give you the context of I'm someone who has not always had the best history with that kind of stuff, and if I'm, too picky about what I'm eating or how much I'm working out, it can be really damaging to my mental health. My sophomore year of college, I wasn't eating at the dining hall, and then on top of that, I had a lot of illnesses that were making it so I had no appetite. So I literally just lost all the weight that I gained freshman year. So I went right back to where I was. Again, that was not anything I was trying to do. I was not working out a ton or anything. It just kind of happened. My weight fluctuates so much, so this wasn't really shocking to me. And then with that, plus my breast reduction that I got last year, I was feeling super confident in myself. So when I decided to do the 75 hard, I felt like I was in a really good mindset with my body, and that's why I felt like it was the perfect time for me to do the challenge, because I felt like I could handle it. And when I was doing the challenge, I did feel good, but I don't think I realized until I stopped doing the challenge how much it maybe was affecting me when I didn't even realize it was. I haven't even weighed myself since doing this challenge. So this is just based off of my clothes, how I look, other people seeing me. I clearly lost some weight doing the challenge. And when people started to notice it, this is no one's fault, by the way, this is me. When people started to point it out to me, I started to notice it too. That's kind of always how it is. Like, you don't really, because you see yourself every day, it's harder to notice those things. But when other people point it out, it's like, oh, like you're totally right. So I was starting to hear things like that, like, oh, I lost a lot of weight, not a lot, but a significant enough amount to where people were noticing, and I felt so good about myself, which I don't think is anything to be ashamed of. I feel like that's something that a lot of people can relate to. I'm someone who, for so much of my life, I was trying to lose weight actively. And even if that's not what I was doing with this challenge, I honestly just wanted to build habits and just create a better routine for myself. Hearing and seeing that had happened was really affirming to me that I am able to lose weight. I feel like every time in my past that I've tried to lose weight, it just hasn't worked. And I really wasn't ever able to see a difference. So knowing that it was possible for me after finishing the challenge was really cool. But now that I'm months off of the challenge, I've noticed that I have been really hyper aware of how I look and how much I weigh. Again, I don't even own a scale, have not weighed myself since maybe December, but I've just been really aware of what I'm eating and calories and like all that stuff, which if your mindset is good and healthy and you have the right intentions, can be totally fine. I'm honestly, I feel like if you would have asked me 3 years ago, I would have said never look at calories and never try to lose weight and whatever. That's really not my belief system anymore. I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to lose weight. I don't think there's anything wrong circumstantially with checking calories and stuff like that, if your intentions are good and if you're in a healthy enough mindset to not let it affect you in a negative way. And I am not in that mindset at all. I am checking things because I have gotten to a point where I truly believe, for example, if I eat a Kit Kat, I'm gonna gain like 2 pounds. And that might sound crazy to some people. To some people, it probably doesn't sound crazy because I know that so many people think this way, which is so sad, but I'm right there with you. I genuinely, I don't even know I'm sorry, I don't even know how to put this stuff into words. Maybe I should have waited to make this video until I had a better grasp on my actual thoughts on this, but I figured someone might want to watch or listen to this and just kind of hear where my mindset is in its raw form. Like, this is just me word vomiting to you guys. I have always been someone who constantly is looking at my body and judging and picking out things, but I've noticed recently it is the first thought on my mind when I wake up in the morning. Genuinely the first thought. I need to look in the mirror and see what I look like. And as bad as my mindset's been in the past, I don't think it's ever been that bad. And it's so interesting to me actually, because when I have been at my heaviest, I was not necessarily happier, but I wasn't doing this. Like, these were not habits that I was falling into. Now that I've lost some weight, I'm so obsessed with whether I want to be or not, keeping it that way, not gaining any weight. I honestly, and I hate saying this, but I'm just trying to be vulnerable and honest with you guys. I think my biggest fear is gaining weight, which is so sad and so upsetting to me, honestly, because I've worked really hard to not be in that mindset. For example, let me just tell a story. When a couple weeks ago, I had my period, and if you're a girl, you know that when you get your period, you bloat. Some people do. Bloat, your face can bloat, your body, whatever, you just kind of feel disgusting. When I had my period last, it really made me bloat. Like, I just felt disgusting, and I was just eating shit all day that I didn't want to be eating. I was so upset and mad at myself. I had this one moment of just sitting with myself and just suddenly feeling so scared that if I gain weight again, I will not be able to handle it. I don't know if that made sense to anyone, but again, as I said, when I gained a bunch of weight my freshman year of college, I literally did not see a difference in how I looked. Now when I go back and look at pictures, it's night and day. It's like not even the same person. But in that moment, before I ever stepped on a scale, I had not a single clue that I had gained a pound. I had literally no clue. But now that that's happened and I've gone through that and gone through losing that weight again, and also now being able to see myself then and see myself now, I immediately can tell when I look like maybe I've gained a little weight. And 90% of the time, it's probably in my head because I'm just so scared of it happening. I think I've said this word 20 times in this video, but I'm so hyper aware. I've never been more hyper aware of how I look or how much I weigh, which is just kind of scary. Circling back to the 75 hard, I'm not necessarily saying that the 75, I am not saying that the 75 hard is bad. I had so much fun doing it, and a lot of the habits are ones that I still implement in my life. There's a lot of really positive things that came out of it for me, and I'm not necessarily blaming this mindset on the 75 hard, but it's more so just a culmination of a lot of things that I think I am still so young, which I think I forget sometimes. I consider myself to be a pretty independent and mature person, and a lot of times I feel like I'm a lot older than I am. I think that comes with just, moving to a different state and, having to force myself to be independent and be okay with it. And I love being independent and I love all that, but I do feel like I'm older than I am, when in reality, I'm freshly 21. That's still like really young. I don't know what the exact age is, but I know that my brain is not fully developed yet. And I think maybe I just wasn't ready to do the challenge. I did it. I finished it. I was happy, but the aftermath is now I'm kind of miserable all the time. Not all the time. There's when I'm busy and I'm keeping myself occupied with things to do, I'm totally fine. I think the problem is now we're a couple months out. It's summer. I'm alone. I'm not really doing much, and it gives me a lot of time to just think and look at myself. I think it's also hard because the things I really like to do involve seeing myself all the time. Making videos. After I film this, I have to edit this and stare at myself on a screen for hours. That's not fun. When I make TikToks, it's just filming yourself and then looking at yourself. That's hard. That's really difficult, honestly, for me. I'm so much happier when I go a couple hours without looking in the mirror, because if I feel good, it's like nothing else matters, right? If you feel good, like yesterday I was at the pool and I was laying there and I was like, wow, I love that I can't see how I look right now, because I feel good, so I just don't care what I look like. It also doesn't help that my room is all mirrors. Like, the walls are all mirrors. So I'm just constantly seeing myself all the time, and it's hard, and I wish that I had an easier time seeing myself. And sometimes I do. Sometimes I wake up and my first thought is that I'm the hottest person to walk this earth. And then the next day I'll wake up and be disgusted by who I see in the mirror. It's just completely like, I never know what to expect. Anyways, I've been rambling for a long time and I don't really have much more to say other than I am not saying I regret doing this challenge. Again, I really did enjoy it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to wrap this up with advice, but it's hard because I'm also dealing with all of this right now. Like, this isn't something that happened and now I'm good. I'm kind of in the middle of it. I'm gonna think like this my whole life. This is nothing new. I just really want to, I don't know. I just want to find a way to not care so much about how I look. Honestly, if you guys have any advice, I would love to hear it. I made this video with the intention of just talking and then hopefully giving you guys some advice, but that feels wrong for me to do, right? Like, I'm struggling with this. So you know what? I'm gonna ask for your advice. If you have gone through something like this, and just have any advice on kind of how you navigate this sort of mindset, let me know. This feels wrong. I hate asking for help. I'm not asking for help. I'm fine. You guys, I'm fine. Like, don't worry. I don't know. I feel like on my channel, I try and give other people that sense of comfort. And yeah, I don't know. I guess we're switching it up today. And if you guys have any thoughts on this, I guess what I can say is that I know deep down that this stuff just doesn't matter. Your weight, how you look, the size of the clothes you fit in, like, it just is really, it doesn't matter. I love those quotes that say something along the lines of, when you're on your deathbed, the last thing you think about is not gonna be, oh, I really wish I didn't eat that, or oh my god, I should have worked out more, I wish I was thinner my whole life. This is not, it's just, those are not the thoughts that you're gonna think when you're dying one day. As morbid as that may seem, I think that that is so true. And I do think social media has really damaged how our generation thinks about themselves, and I think it's really sad. I'm a product of that. I'm social media obsessed and addicted. I'm on it 24/7. But I can recognize, and I will say that I am 100% certain that that is the reason a lot of people feel this way. Not the only reason, obviously, but definitely a big one. And I think that sucks. And I think we're definitely getting better as a society and as individuals, but I think it's still really hard. And it's just not fun. It's stuff that when you're a kid, you don't think about this stuff, and then you grow older and it's the only thing on your mind, and it's just kind of sad and upsetting and honestly just frustrating. It's frustrating because I know I don't want to worry about how I look all the time and what I'm eating and all that stuff, but it's just inevitable. I don't even know how to wrap this video up. I know that this video was a little different tone than a lot of my videos are. This was just kind of, I'm not sad or anything. I'm happy to be making this video. I really just wanted to sit down and just dump my thoughts because I always feel good when I do that. And even if we're talking about deeper issues, I think it's good to just kind of get it out there and just kind of have a conversation, start a conversation about it. I think these are usually the things that I wouldn't want to put online, but I like when people online talk about vulnerable things because it makes me realize that literally that I'm not unique. You know, like everyone is struggling with this. So if I could even just resonate with one person, I'm happy. If I resonated with no one, I'm also happy. I just needed to kind of get this off my chest. I promise the next video will be probably a fun, happy vlog, so you can look forward to that. Yeah, with all, you know, the talk on my channel about body positivity and fitness and stuff like that, I thought it was important to also share kind of just how I'm feeling in life. So yeah, thanks for listening. I love you guys so much. I say this in every video, but it's true. My DMs are always open. If anyone ever just wants to chat or talk or discuss anything, you can always DM me at CoreJosephine with 2 E's on Instagram. I'm always more than happy to talk and just have a conversation. I know sometimes kind of sitting with these things, especially if you feel like you have no one to talk to about them, can be really draining and exhausting. So you can always feel free to message me, and I would love to chat about it with you guys. Love you guys so much. You guys are all beautiful, amazing, wonderful people. And yeah, I just love you guys. I will see you guys in the next video.